How's it going, everybody? My name is Miklo. I'm the project manager here at Notorious Lift, and the purpose of this first YouTube video is to take the most popular question that we get asked on social media and emails and answer it for you guys, and that is, what is the difference between the different generations of our slippers? So the first slipper that we ever came out with was the Notorious Lifters Gen 1. So the whole goal of the Notorious Lifters Gen 1 was to help prevent that side lateral wall spillage for sumo deadlifters. So we thought that by increasing, the side lateral wall just a little bit, that it would help prevent that spillage. But over time, we learned that it was more optimal for conventional deadlift, but it is still pretty popular with people who pull sumo. It all just depends. It's a personal preference at that point. But with the Notorious Lifters Gen 1, what we did was we used a neoprene upper, and that presented a lot of issues, especially with just the shearing qualities of neoprene. So when you would crank down your straps, the neoprene would rip, and there was nothing that we could really do about that. That's just an intrinsic quality of neoprene itself. So with that being sort of a major issue and feedback that we were getting from you guys, we decided to come out with the Notorious Lifters Gen 2. So for the Notorious Lifters Gen 2, we kept the same minimal sole with the same side lateral wall support, but the major improvement that we did make was improving the upper. So we ditched the neoprene because it kept ripping, the gluing kept coming off of the lower. It was just a manufacturing nightmare, and we switched to a knit upper, which presented us with a lot of opportunities to change colorways, to do different graphic designs and whatnot, and really give that sock-like feel that a lot of people are used to for deadlifting. But again, we still got some complaints that people pulling sumo were having the side lateral wall spillage, so we decided to make the Sumo Sole Gen 1. So the Sumo Sole Gen 1 was our response to all of the complaints that we were getting about the continued side lateral wall spillage that everybody was experiencing with the Notorious Lifters, both Gen 1 and 2. So we really did increase the side lateral wall. Now looking back on it, might be even too aggressive, but it did solve the problem. We stopped getting, the complaints that your feet were spilling over the edge. So for the Sumo Sole Gen 1, we kept the same knit upper material as the Notorious Lifters Gen 2 and the same strap in the same placement, but what we did change was the sole. So first thing is first, you can see that the sole of the Notorious Lifters is slick, and the sole of the Sumo Sole Gen 1 has a lot of ridges on it. It gives you that really nice grip that you need when you're pulling sumo. And you can also tell when looking at the side lateral wall how much more aggressive the Sumo Sole Gen 1 side lateral wall is when compared to the Notorious Lifters Gen 2 and Gen 1. But even with these improvements, we were still getting complaints about the wearer's foot shifting in the heel section of the shoe. So again, we had to go back to the drawing board, and that's what led us to the production of the Sumo Sole Gen 2. So the Sumo Sole Gen 2 uses the same sole as the Sumo Sole Gen 1, because we successfully accomplished eliminating that side lateral wall spillage, so we didn't see any need to change anything with the sole. But what we did was we added an internal heel counter to the Sumo Sole Gen 2 to kind of help stabilize your foot within the shoe even more, while still maintaining that slipper feel while you're wearing it. But this slipper, from a manufacturing standpoint, was a nightmare. Just a lot of issues that we ran into with this slipper. So it didn't take long for us to make some drastic improvements and changes, and that was what we did when we came out with the Sumo Sole Gen 2.5. Gen 2.5 is our newest slipper, and it takes literally nothing from all of the other generations. It's a completely new design, completely new upper material, and a completely new sole. So the most obvious change, I guess aesthetically speaking, is we went with a single strap instead of our normal double strap. You now have front and back webbing loops. We improved the knit on the upper to just make it more breathable, just a nicer quality, honestly. You still have both the internal and now you have an external heel counter to help with the stability within the shoe. So the last thing we did for Gen 2.5 was we completely redesigned the sole. What we did was we took kind of a happy medium between the Notorious lifters Gen 1 and 2 and Sumo Sole Gen 1 and 2 and just decreased that side lateral wall height ever so slightly, just because one of the major complaints that we were getting from Sumo Sole Gen 1 and 2 was that the side lateral wall was too aggressive and that it made the shoe uncomfortable to wear for prolonged periods of time, and we don't want you guys to have to keep swapping shoes in your workout. So ever so slightly, but it's still there to help you prevent that spillage. And we added our logo to it, which makes it 150% better already. We also shaved down the pegs on the bottom to give you more tactile feedback, you know, with the platform, help you feel more secure and not like you're on this weird little air raid platform. Overall, this is my favorite slipper that we've ever produced. So I hope that answered at least most of the questions that you guys had about the differences between the different generations of our slipper. Just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate all of the feedback that you guys give us. We really take it into consideration when we're making improvements to the slippers, because we want you to perform at your best and we want our product to perform at its best for you. So again, thank you for all of that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.